Libra, my dear starborn seeker, what is about to unfold in your life is not something that will happen to anyone else. This moment is yours. Divinely orchestrated, deeply personal, and shockingly powerful. If you're watching this video right now, it's not an accident. You didn't just stumble upon it. The universe brought you here intentionally. Because something extraordinary is about to be revealed. And it's for you and only you. Have you been feeling it lately? That strange tightness in your chest. Like something big is trying to break through, but you don't know what it is? Maybe it's shown up as restlessness, vivid dreams, or a voice deep inside whispering, "Pay attention." That voice isn't fear. It's not anxiety. It's the quiet knock of destiny. The truth is, everything has already been decided. The cosmic wheels are in motion. And the timing of this message right here, right now is no coincidence. 17 years. That's how long it's been since this energetic gate last opened. And today, it opens again. But not for everyone. This doorway has been unlocked for a rare few souls who are ready to claim what has long been sealed for them in the divine records. You, Libra, are one of those souls. You may have noticed the signs, repeating numbers like 777 or 333. Dreams of someone from your past returning. Sudden feelings of disconnection or emotional purging. All of that? It's preparation. Spiritual groundwork. Because the reward that's coming is sacred. And enormous. Before we go any further, let me take a sacred pause to say something from the deepest part of my heart. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Every time you like, comment, or subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, you're not just supporting a channel, you're strengthening a spiritual bond. You're deepening your alignment with a tribe that speaks your soul's language. Your presence here keeps this divine portal open, and for that, I'm truly grateful. And trust me, Libra, you'll want to stay with me until the very last second of this reading. Because what the universe is about to reveal to you is unlike anything you've heard before. And once you hear it, you won't ever be the same. Now, let me ask you this. What was it, what feeling, sign, or silent nudge brought you here today? I want you to take a moment and write it down in the comments. Not just for me, but for yourself. Let it be a declaration that you're ready. That you've heard the call. Comment now and say, I received the message meant for me. I'm ready for what's coming. This is your sacred contract, Libra. And now, it's time to begin. Sometimes life begins to whisper before it speaks. And for you, Libra, the signs may have started as barely noticeably fleeting dream of someone long gone. A conversation you've had before in another time, another tone. Perhaps you've been catching repeating numbers like 777 or 911 on clocks, receipts, addresses. Maybe it's all felt like a strange coincidence, easy to dismiss. But your inner knowing wouldn't let you. That's because right now, whether you're fully aware of it or not, you're standing at a crossroads that very few ever reach with this level of clarity. Astrology teaches us that transits aren't just patterns in the sky, they're sacred choreography. And as Uranus, the planet of divine disruption, dances in opposition to the point of your own zodiacal identity, and as the black moon Lilith activates the axis of Libra Aries, a powerful revelation is surfacing. You are not just going through a change, you are the change. The choices you've made, the pain you've endured, the quiet patience you've practiced, they have built a spiritual momentum that is now unstoppable. Many people ask, why does this always happen to me? But Libra, the better question today is, why is this only happening to me? Because the truth is, what's coming for you isn't random, and it isn't for everyone. You're not being singled out by fate for punishment, you're being selected for elevation. This moment isn't here to test you, it's here to fulfill what was promised to your soul long ago. Even if you don't remember making that promise, your life has been shaped by it. You've probably given more than you've received. You've seen your patience stretched and your heart questioned. You felt misunderstood by those who only saw your surface and didn't understand the depth of your balance, the weight of your quiet wisdom. But here's the gentle truth. What felt like rejection was always redirection. What felt like loss was a holy clearing. And the timing of everything, the pause, the delay, the space, was grace. We live in a world that tells us to hustle, to fix, to perform, to produce. But sometimes, miracles arrive not when you do more, but when you become still enough to receive. If you've noticed these signs, the numbers, the dreams, the sudden emotional tides, then take them seriously. They're not hallucinations. They're invitations. And yet, this isn't about superstition. It's about recognizing alignment. You're not being told what to do. You're being reminded of what you already know. In seasons like this, it's not uncommon for clarity to come wrapped in confusion. That's because when your energy is recalibrating at a higher level, the old patterns don't know where they belong anymore. Your nervous system might feel disoriented. Your routines might seem irrelevant. Your relationships might suddenly feel like they're shifting beneath your feet. But this is not chaos, it's reorganization. And reorganization always precedes revelation. There are stories I've heard, quiet ones, passed from heart to heart, of people who held on in silence when no one else believed. And just as they were about to let go, something divine stepped in. Not loudly, not in thunder, but in stillness. In a phone call. A letter. A stranger's kindness. Sometimes, what we call miracle is simply the moment we finally made space for what was always meant for us. So if you're here, reading this, feeling a tug in your chest or tears behind your eyes, know this: you are not late. You are not broken. You have not been forgotten. Everything is still possible. You are still exactly who you were meant to be. And this moment? This is not the beginning of something random, it's the continuation of everything your spirit has prepared for. Now I invite you, gently but clearly, if you've seen the numbers 333, 777, or 911, if you felt these shifts stirring inside, comment below with the one that has spoken to you. Let it be your soul's fingerprint. Let it mark your arrival to this sacred threshold. Because what's ahead is not for the masses. It's for the few who are awake enough to see. And you, Libra, are awake now. Some rewards do not arrive in bright packages or through grand announcements. Instead, they flow in quietly, like sunlight through half-open curtains, gentle but unmistakable. Libra, you've been sowing seeds for years, and even when you didn't see the growth, you kept watering with faith. This moment you're approaching, this shocking reward the cards speak of, is not a coincidence or a lucky break. It's the natural result of everything you've given without asking, the spiritual interest earned on every silent act of grace you offered when no one was watching. In the energetic language of the universe, nothing is ever lost. Every kind word, every helping hand, every time you chose compassion over resentment, record these not only in memory, but in frequency. And frequency always finds its way home. Energy isn't sentimental, it's mathematical. It multiplies and returns. What may have looked like sacrifice in 2022, now begins to bloom in ways you couldn't have predicted back then. That year, marked by the vibration of number 6, held you in the frequency of love, healing, and responsibility, often toward others more than yourself. Now, as we stand in the energetic field of 2025, a number 9 year, the universe gently hands you the culmination, the completion, the harvest phase, of what was once merely a quiet act of service. You may remember a time 3 years ago when you gave without keeping score. Maybe it was financial. Maybe it was emotional support you gave to someone struggling, encouragement offered when your own strength was running low. These moments, seemingly invisible to the world, were never invisible to the greater order of things. In spiritual energy work and the law of attraction, this is known as delayed manifestation, when the universe holds your return until your container is big enough to hold it. That's what this moment is. A returning. A gathering of everything you've planted, not as small acknowledgements, but as compounded blessings. And it may not come from where you expect. The reward could be a new opportunity, a financial windfall, or even a long-lost relationship reappearing in a completely renewed form. What's essential is that you don't dismiss it when it arrives. Recognize it for what it is, the universe's way of saying, "I saw everything." From a therapeutic perspective, this is often the most emotional moment for people when they realize they're no longer chasing, but being met. It can feel uncomfortable at first. Guilt may try to creep in. Don't let it. You are not taking more than your share, you are simply stepping into balance. And when things come your way effortlessly, it doesn't mean you didn't earn them. It means you've healed enough to stop blocking them. I often think of the quiet ways grace enters our lives. A job that arrives just in time. A bill that gets covered without explanation. A stranger offering a kindness that lightens a burden you didn't even speak aloud. Some call it coincidence. Others, divine timing. In my experience, it's what happens when people finally stop striving long enough to let themselves receive. So, Libra, I invite you now to reflect. What did you give in 2022 that felt like it cost you something, but you gave it anyway? What act of love, courage, or support left a quiet imprint in your past? Write it down. Then declare it. Say, "I'm ready to receive what is mine, multiplied." Because when blessings return, they rarely look like what you gave, but they always carry the same vibration of love, only magnified. Let this be your moment to shift from doing to allowing. You've already done the work. Now it's your turn to open your hands. And if any part of this resonates with your soul, share in the comments what you're welcoming back. That one small action might just be the final unlock the universe has been waiting for. Sometimes, what returns to you isn't just a persona, it's a frequency, a feeling, a memory that refuses to fade. And for you, Libra, this next unfolding chapter may come wrapped not in grand gestures, but in quiet moments that feel strangely familiar. If someone has already entered your mind as you're listening to this message, honor that. It's rarely random. That person may be thinking of you too, not because of coincidence, but because something deeper is pulling your souls back into orbit. When astrology points us to these alignments, especially when Venus, your ruling planet, begins forming aspects that trigger past contracts or relationship karma, it's not just about romance. It's about completion. Sometimes, what we call love isn't about the butterflies, it's about the recognition. You see someone, and something in your spirit softens. Not because they're perfect, but because they mirror something you forgot you needed. Whether you're in a relationship now or walking this path alone, this phase is about returning to the kind of love that heals, not just excites. If you're partnered, you might feel as though the bond is asking to be reimagined. That's not a sign of ending, it's a sign of renewal. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, love too has its seasons. Now is your second new moon. A chance to rewrite the vows, not the ones you said out loud, but the silent promises you made in the quiet of daily life. Maybe it's time to look at each other not as you were, but as you're becoming. Set aside time to reconnect, not through planning, but through presence. Sometimes the most powerful healing comes when we sit in silence and simply ask, "What do you need from me now?" And if you're single, don't mistake this season of solitude for a void. It is a sacred clearing. Soulmates rarely arrive when we're desperate, they come when we've created space, not just in our calendars, but in our hearts. This is the perfect time to begin tending to your inner world as if you were preparing a guest room for someone special. Clear emotional clutter. Release lingering stories. Make room not just to be loved, but to be seen in your fullness. That level of love cannot be rushed. But when it comes, it feels like alignment, not drama. There's a beautiful truth I've witnessed in countless lives, across stories of faith, astrology, and healing. Love isn't something you chase. It's something you welcome. And in the most unlikely moments, when you've surrendered the need to control the how or the who, something sacred steps in. Whether you call it grace, timing, or divine orchestration, it arrives. Not because you begged for it, but because you finally believed you were worthy of it. Let this be your gentle invitation to open up again. To believe that the kind of love that rebuilds, renews, and restores is not only possible, but approaching. If this resonates with you even in the smallest way, I invite you to comment and declare, "I welcome my destined love." Because sometimes, all it takes is speaking it aloud for the soul on the other end of that connection to feel it too. Whether it's someone returning, someone new, or simply a deeper love of yourself, know that the vibration of your heart is never ignored. It's being answered in ways you can't yet imagine. Keep your heart ready. The universe is always listening. When everything begins to move at once, it can feel like standing at the center of a cosmic whirlwind where blessings don't arrive one by one, but rather, rush in like a divine avalanche. This is not mere coincidence, but the alignment of celestial forces responding to your readiness. The Eight of Wands combined with the Wheel of Fortune is a powerful confirmation from the universe. Speed is accelerating, and fortune is turning in your favor. These aren't just cards, they are energetic signatures of divine orchestration. You've waited long enough, perhaps feeling as though life was on pause. Now, the pause button is being released, and the music of your destiny is playing in fast forward. We must understand that moments like this don't happen randomly, they are often the result of seeds planted long ago through faith, effort, forgiveness, and silent resilience. Opportunities that once felt distant, like career upgrades, financial stability, unexpected messages from people you thought had forgotten you, or long-awaited clarity are now converging. And the convergence might feel overwhelming. When multiple doors open at once, it's easy to question which one to walk through. But you are not meant to choose with panic, you are meant to center yourself and move with trust. Energetically, this is the clearing of long-standing blockages. The stagnation you felt wasn't failure, it was the universe rearranging timelines for your highest good. In tarot, the Eight of Wands often appears when divine timing has been activated. It's the sacred reminder that when the moment is right, nothing can stop what is meant for you. The Wheel of Fortune beside it is not just about luck, it's about cycles. A chapter is closing with speed so a new one can spiral open, full of wealth, clarity, and soul purpose alignment. Yet with so many things accelerating, the key isn't to do more, it's to become more intentional. Like a river that swells after heavy rain, your emotional landscape may feel flooded. That's why this phase calls not for frantic reaction, but for refined focus. Choosing what matters most is your spiritual maturity in action. You don't need to answer every call, say yes to every offer, or engage with every message. Discernment is your new superpower. This is the perfect time to simplify your inner world. Wake up and drink water before coffee. Meditate for just 7 minutes before diving into your phone or tasks. Give your body the kindness of enough sleep. These may sound like small things, but they're the anchors that stabilize you in a whirlwind of transformation. Without grounding, blessings can feel like burdens. But when you're anchored, you ride the wave, not get crushed by it. There's something miraculous that happens when you slow your breath even as the world speeds up. In that quiet, you become a vessel not just for receiving but for multiplying what you've been given. One of the most powerful spiritual lessons from modern miracles is that God doesn't always come in the stillness. Sometimes, He arrives in the rush. And He needs you to recognize Him even amidst chaos. Imagine a woman on her way to a job interview who prays for a sign and receives not one, but 3 offers in a week. Or a man who has been asking for clarity and suddenly receives both truth and challenge within the same day. These aren't accidents. They are divine floods. So if you find yourself today in the middle of an energetic storm full of messages, changes, news, chances, don't resist it. Breathe into it. Say softly to yourself, I don't chase, I align. I don't panic, I prepare. Let your trust be louder than your doubts. Now I ask you, dear listener, what storm of blessings are you standing in right now? Will you rise in gratitude and grace? Comment below, I stay centered as life moves around me. And if this message touched your soul, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this space of light with others. Eternal mindfulness is your sacred pause in a spinning world, and I'm honored to walk this journey with you. Absolutely. Here's your requested segment written in American English, from the voice of a top 0.1% spiritual guide blending astrology, energetic psychology, storytelling, and emotional healing. 600 words, written in a seamless flow with gentle guidance, no headings, and a tone that connects deeply with the viewer's experience. What if, Libra, the only permission you ever needed was your own? After everything you've walked through, all the silent battles, all the moments you doubted your worth, this part of your journey isn't about seeking validation from the outside world anymore. It's about standing in what has always been yours, long before the world made you question it. This is your coronation moment. Not the kind where trumpets sound and crowns are placed by others, but the one where you rise from within and say, I remember who I am now. We often hear about the idea of being chosen and imagine it means being picked by someone else, a mentor, a partner, a gatekeeper of some dream. But in the deeper currents of spiritual understanding, being chosen doesn't mean being selected. It means remembering. It means reclaiming the throne of your own life and accepting the divine appointment that was always there. You weren't overlooked, my dear Libra. You were being prepared. And now, it's time to take your seat at the table set just for you. In many ancient texts and sacred stories, there's always a moment where the protagonist, after wandering through the wilderness of doubt and rejection, is finally called forward, not because they've become perfect, but because they've become ready. There's a line I hold close when I feel myself hesitating in the face of what I've asked for. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. It's a reminder that you don't have to wait for the world to be kind before you receive. You don't need everything to align externally before you say yes internally. The feast of your destiny has already been prepared. The question is, will you sit down and receive it? This phase of your journey is no longer about proving yourself. It's about embodying yourself. You don't need to audition to be you. The universe is not asking you to work harder, be smaller, or delay your joy until someone else says it's okay. All it asks now is that you show up as the version of you who knows this was never about chance, it was always about timing. And so this is the moment to affirm, aloud and without hesitation, I receive my sacred reward right now. This is not an affirmation of ego, it's an agreement with your truth. Your journey, your pain, your patience, your prayers, they all led here. Each no that felt like a rejection was really redirection. Each closed door cleared the way for this door, the one you didn't even know existed, to swing wide open. There is a kind of quiet authority that comes when you stop trying to be chosen and start choosing yourself. You've outgrown the versions of you that begged for crumbs. You've evolved past the people-pleasing, the dimming, the delaying. Now is the moment you let your light be seen, not because it's flawless, but because it's real. So as we close this part of the message, I invite you to anchor this energy in your reality. Comment right now, I receive my sacred reward. Not tomorrow. Not when things are perfect. Right now. And let your like on this video be more than a click, let it be an energetic signature that tells the universe, I'm ready. I've returned. I remember who I am. And if you feel this message in your spirit, subscribing is not just a follow, it's a vow. A vow to keep your alignment open. A vow to walk this path with courage, grace, and unwavering faith in your own divine design. And now, dear Libra, as we come to the end of this journey together, take a deep breath and let it settle in your spirit. This miracle was always meant for you. No one else can receive it. No one else can steal it. The timing, the alignment, the divine orchestration, it has your name written in gold. You have walked through storms that others will never understand. You have cried in silence, smiled in pain, hoped in secret. And because of that, the reward must come in public. What was whispered in the dark will now be announced in the light. Do you feel that? That gentle shift inside you. It's not just emotion, it's confirmation. You are not a bystander in your own life. You are the architect. And the divine is your co-creator. Every affirmation you speak, every prayer you dare to whisper, Every action you take from belief rather than fear it is rewriting your destiny in real time. There is no force strong enough to stop the avalanche of blessings that are headed toward your house. And yes, they are already in motion. This message didn't find you by accident. It's a divine appointment. This is your moment of sacred remembrance. That you are not here to survive, you are here to reign. You are not just seeking miracles, you are one. The very breath you carry holds the frequency of breakthrough. So I invite you now, don't just watch this message, live it. Anchor it. Ground it in your actions. Say the affirmations. Create the space. Write your intentions. Play this video on loop if you must. Let your subconscious absorb it. Let your nervous system relax into it. This is not motivation. This is transformation. And if this message has touched your heart today, if it's confirmed something you didn't even know you needed, and keep it to yourself. Someone out there is waiting for a sign to not give up. You might be the messenger heaven uses. Share this. Comment below your affirmation. Write, I am ready, if you're claiming it. Write 888 if you're aligning with divine wealth. And if you felt seen, please subscribe, like, and stay connected to this community. We are more than viewers here. We are soul family. We rise together. From my heart to yours, may peace surround your body, may love flood your home, may money find every door you walk through, and may your soul always remember you were chosen. Not because you were lucky, but because you endured. And now, it's time to collect the inheritance the universe has been keeping safe for you all along. This is Zodiac Whisper Tarot. I am honored to walk this sacred path with you.